The cafe on the corner of Elm Street and Fifth Avenue in Austin, Texas, was buzzing with the usual mid-morning crowd. Sunlight streamed through the large front windows, reflecting off polished wooden tables. Emma, the head waitress, moved briskly between tables, balancing plates of pancakes and coffee cups. Her apron spotless, yet her tired eyes betrayed the long hours she had worked. Outside, the city hummed with life, but inside, the small cafe felt like a haven from the world. As Emma poured a fresh cup of coffee for an elderly man reading the newspaper, the cafe door jingled. A woman appeared, her coat threadbare and patched, shoes worn through at the heels, and a small backpack slung over one shoulder. Emma froze for a moment, taking in the sight, but her heart nudged her toward compassion rather than judgment. She walked over with her usual calm, measured steps. "Good morning," Emma said softly, smiling. "Would you like a seat?" The woman hesitated, glancing around nervously. I don't have any money," she admitted quietly. Emma waved her hand. "That's okay. Sit anywhere you like. I'll get you a coffee." The woman blinked, shocked, her shoulders relaxing just slightly. Emma led her to a booth near the window and poured her a cup of steaming coffee. "Before we continue, make sure you subscribe to the channel to watch more stories that touch the heart and remind us why kindness matters. Hit the bell icon too, because this story will show how one small choice can change lives forever." A woman introduced herself as Claire, and her voice was tentative, laced with weariness. She explained that she had lost her home after medical bills piled up, leaving her without family or friends nearby. Emma listened carefully, nodding as Claire spoke, offering a warm muffin and soft words of encouragement. Each small act of kindness seemed to lighten the invisible weight Claire carried on her shoulders. Across the cafe, Daniel, a young tech entrepreneur, noticed the scene. He had been a regular at the cafe for months, admiring Emma's kindness and patience. Today, he saw it in action in a way that stopped him cold. The woman sitting quietly, sipping her coffee, radiated intelligence and resilience despite her circumstances. Something about her presence suggested hidden potential, the kind of talent that could be easily overlooked. Emma refilled Claire's coffee, her hands steady, her voice gentle. "You're safe here," she whispered when Claire flinched at a loud crash from the kitchen. Claire's eyes softened, and she nodded, sipping her coffee with a mixture of relief and disbelief. Emma knew that kindness could open doors invisible to the eye, and she hoped today would be one of those moments. The morning passed slowly, the cafe's rhythm punctuated by the clatter of dishes and the murmur of conversation. Claire began to relax, telling Emma about her background in software engineering and her love for problem-solving, a brilliance that had been sidelined by life's harsh turns. Emma encouraged her, reminding her that a setback didn't define her. "Sometimes life's detours lead us exactly where we're meant to be," she said softly, placing a reassuring hand on Claire's shoulder. Daniel leaned against the counter, his curiosity getting the better of him. He had been struggling with a critical software issue in his startup, one that could make or break his company. Something in Claire's quiet confidence made him believe she could help. "I'd like to meet her," he said to Emma quietly. Emma smiled, nodding. She deserves a chance. That's all that matters. Claire looked up, unsure, yet intrigued by the sincerity in both their voices. By mid-afternoon, Claire was immersed in conversation with Daniel, explaining algorithms and problem-solving techniques with a clarity and intelligence that left him stunned. Emma watched silently, proud that a single act of compassion had created this ripple effect. Claire's life, which had seemed on pause, was suddenly moving toward a new direction, one she had never imagined possible. As the cafe began to empty and the sun dipped lower in the sky, Claire's eyes shone with a mix of hope and disbelief. Emma's heart swelled quietly at the transformation, knowing that sometimes kindness alone was the key to unlocking someone's potential. Outside, The streets of Austin were alive with energy. But inside the small cafe, a new chapter had begun for a woman who had been invisible to the world. Claire sat at the booth, staring at the laptop Daniel had brought with him. He had offered her a temporary position to help debug the critical system in his tech company, something that had eluded his engineers for weeks. Claire hesitated, unsure if she was ready to step back into the professional world after months of struggle. But Emma's encouraging words echoed in her mind. Sometimes, she realized, a little faith from someone else could reignite your own. "Are you sure about this?" Daniel asked gently, sensing her hesitation. Claire took a deep breath and nodded. "I can do it. I'll give it everything I have." Emma poured her a fresh cup of coffee, smiling. "I knew you'd rise to the challenge. Just remember, talent doesn't disappear. It just waits for the right moment." Hours passed as Claire and Daniel worked side by side, her mind sharp and nimble, solving problems that had stumped his team for days. Each breakthrough built her confidence, each corrected line of code a small victory. Emma checked in occasionally, bringing snacks and encouragement, silently witnessing the transformation that had begun with a cup of coffee and a warm smile. By evening, the software was functioning perfectly. Daniel leaned back in his chair, relief and admiration in his eyes. "Claire, this is incredible," he said. "I can't believe how quickly you fixed this. You've saved the company from a massive setback." Claire's eyes widened, not just at the praise, but at the realization that her life could take a completely different direction from here. Emma watched them from across the cafe, a quiet satisfaction filling her heart. Kindness had created an opportunity, but Claire's own brilliance had turned it into something extraordinary. The homeless woman who had walked in earlier that day was now a hero in a boardroom that hadn't known what it was missing. Emma understood then, more clearly than ever, that helping others wasn't just charity, it was giving someone the chance to shine. The next morning, Claire returned to the cafe to thank Emma. "I wouldn't be here without you," she said, her voice steady but filled with emotion. Emma shook her head, brushing it off. "You were always meant for this. I just helped you see it. That's all any of us can do for each other." Claire hugged her tightly, feeling a mix of gratitude and hope. Word spread quickly about Claire's contribution to Daniel's company. Investors and colleagues were astounded by her talent and the speed with which she solved the critical issues. Yet for Claire, the real reward was the knowledge that someone had believed in her when the world had turned away. She had been given a second chance, and she vowed not to waste it. Weeks later, Claire was offered a permanent role in the company, complete with mentorship and resources to continue innovating. Daniel insisted Emma meet her for lunch at the cafe, celebrating both Claire's success and the woman whose kindness had set everything in motion. Emma smiled, feeling the quiet power of her simple choice resonate in ways she could never have imagined. As the sun set over Austin, casting golden light through the cafe windows, Claire and Emma shared a quiet moment of reflection. Life had thrown challenges at them both, but it had also offered moments of grace and connection. Claire had found her path, and Emma had seen firsthand how kindness could change not just one life, but countless others through the ripples it created. In the following months, Claire continued to excel, and Daniel's company thrived thanks to her brilliance. Yet neither she nor Emma forgot the day that started it all. A homeless woman entering a cafe, a cup of coffee, and a choice to treat someone with dignity and compassion. That day proved that acts of kindness, no matter how small, could truly reshape destinies. The cafe on Elm Street remained a quiet haven amidst the bustling city, a place where strangers could become friends, where potential could be recognized, and where humanity was valued above all else. Emma cleaned the tables, served her customers, and occasionally glanced toward Claire, proud that a single act of compassion had led to so much growth, hope, and transformation. And as the city lights flickered on outside, Emma whispered to herself, "Kindness always finds its way home, knowing that some of the most valuable rewards in life weren't measured in money or success, but in the lives touched and the opportunities created by a simple act of care.